A lot of New Yorkers assume that estate planning is something that a lot need down the road or if you're wealthy, but a lot of these are myths and they can cause problems down the road for families. Now, joining me here at Coughlin Gerhart is an associate here to talk about estate planning. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. So, we're talking about some myths today. So, the first one is that if you're married in New York, your spouse automatically gets everything. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so that's a myth that often surprises people. In New York State, if you pass away without a will and you have children, your spouse isn't necessarily going to inherit everything. Oftentimes, those assets are going to be split between your children and your spouse, which can cause court involvement, delays, and several other issues that really interfere when people need access to these funds the most.
Okay, so even married couples can end up in court.
Exactly, and often unexpectedly.
Okay, okay. So on a similar note, what about couples who have, been together for years but not officially tied the knot?
Yeah, so actually, there's no such thing as common law marriage in New York, which I have to talk people through pretty often. I think they're familiar with sometimes back in the day in Pennsylvania, it used to be more legitimate. Here in New York, that's not the case. So there's no automatic right to inheritance. If you don't have a will saying your significant other has a right to your assets, then they're not necessarily going to inherit them.
Okay, so even if it's been like decades, it's still
Even then, it doesn't matter how long you've been together, there's still no right to inheritance.
okay, okay. And then another common belief is saying, I don't have enough money for estate planning. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that's one of the biggest myths of all, actually. It's really not about money when you're getting involved with estate planning, it's about control. So, who makes your healthcare decisions if you can't make them for yourself? Who takes care of the finances? Who raises your children? If you don't have your estate planning documents in line, a court can make these decisions for you.
Okay, so what about this note that wills helps you avoid court?
That's also a myth. And that's honestly one that I deal with pretty commonly. So, even if you do have a will, it's really important to have one, but your will still has to go through a process called probate. So, that involves public records, again, delays caused by court involvement, sometimes fees and debts that come out of those funds. So, it's not as easy as I have a will and I get to avoid that process.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely am learning a lot here because I don't know a lot about this. So basically, a will doesn't solve anything.
Right, it's a starting point, but it's not the finish line. You need more than just that.
Okay, okay. And then this one really hits parents. Naming godparents means they'll raise your kids.
Yeah, so as much as that's a lovely concept, that's not the case. So godparents don't have any authority to raise children in New York unless they are named in a will. If they're not, then a court or a judge gets to decide who gets to be guardian of your minor children.
So we've been learning about a lot today, but what is the biggest takeaway for our viewers?
I think the biggest thing is that estate planning isn't about death. It's making sure that you're protecting your family while you're alive and making sure that your wishes are met. Without this proper plan in place, the big decisions are out of your hands.
Okay. So is this something that Coughlin and Gerhart can help with?
Yes, we do this exact type of work all the time. I think when it comes to estate planning, it can be really overwhelming for people and something that they don't necessarily want to deal with. We try and make it as manageable as we possibly can. I work out of the Owego office and the Binghamton office as well, but we have plenty of offices throughout New York State that would be happy to help with this sort of thing.
All right, perfect. Well, I'm glad that we could debunk some of those myths today. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I'll
Thank
see you soon.
you very much. Thank you.